and we're live from Papi's place.
Casa de Papi.
Casa de Papi, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So howdy, Papi. So we're having a snowstorm tomorrow, correct?
Yeah. Well, tonight into tomorrow, they say that during the wee morning hours, it's going to snow.
Exactly.
Last time I saw the prediction, it was 2 to 6 inches now. So hopefully it'll be less. But where I'm situated here, I don't get the warm currents off the ocean like the South Shore. So whenever they say like the higher number it's up here. South Shore is probably like the lower numbers. North Shore is a higher number. So they're still talking 6 inches of snow,
which is enough to make you have to shovel and snow blow, which is why you're getting the snow blower out, right?
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, I just finished working on the snow blower. For some reason, it was I was having problems with it starting, but took care of all the problems. Put a new spark plug in there. What else did I do? Oh, I primed the fuel system, and it's ready to go.
That's great. Yeah. So I don't know. So we don't have anybody watching yet. I mean, usually these live streams generate a lot of people joining.
Mm-hmm. Even like a Saturday afternoon.
Maybe a Saturday afternoon. Maybe not. I mean, but then again, I know when we go live on the weekends, it typically generates more people for whatever reason than if you go midday on a weekday. So
that's true. More people at home.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Do you have any topics? While the people start to join and ask questions, do you have any topics that you would like to discuss?
Bowling.
What about bowling?
I know that you've been bowling a few times.
Yeah.
Have you gotten any better? Is your bowling game getting better?
Quite frankly, not really. I'm lucky to break 100. I have a few times I've gotten like 101, but to be honest with you, not really. I'm not getting better at bowling. I know you used to be on a bowling league and you used to be very good, right?
Yeah, but it's like everything else. The more you bowl, kind of like the better you get at it. So
check it out. 10 people. We got 10 people in the house. So, okay, we're gonna start getting questions. Hey, we got Raw. I don't know who this person is. I've never seen this person before. But howdy, buddy. Whoever this guy is, he's new. You got to be careful because some of these people could be trolls. If you see a troll comment, just don't react to it.
Oh no.
Hey, Money, how you doing? I don't see Money. I don't know who he is either. 3 likes too. That's pretty good. We're rocking and rolling. We're 3 minutes in. We got 3 likes. Money asks, how are we doing? I guess we're doing all right. I mean, all things considered.
Yeah, I don't know if you were on before, but we're getting ready for the snowstorm that's going to hit us tonight into tomorrow.
Oh, Ronit says he's from India.
Oh, wow.
Interesting. Yeah, interestingly enough, I have a friend who I've been getting Indian food with. And, I mean, yeah, very, very, very good cuisine. Very good cuisine. And I had a friend in college who was from India. I haven't talked to him in like 10 years, 15 years, but, I don't know. That's my story about India.
All right, I've got a snow question for who's the person from India? What's his name or her name?
Rawat.
Or Robert. Does it snow in India? I mean, I know that sounds a little bit naive. I know it snows up in the mountains, up in the hills, but the mainland, does the snow come down into the mainland at all? Or are there areas that are affected by snow?
Is Bangladesh in India?
Yes.
They're saying he's from Bangladesh.
Oh, Bangladesh.
Yeah.
Actually, Bangladesh is a separate country all to itself. It's not in India.
Money is from Bangladesh. And the other one is from India, I think. Yeah. Yeah, these I don't know who these particular people are, but they seem a little weird. So
No, hey, they're fine.
I mean, I'm not talking about like people from India being weird. I'm talking about these particular people being weird. Because they're just behaving a little unusual in the live stream. They're like trolls. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's naughty.
Trolls are bad.
No,
Yeah.
no, no.
Oh, we got a a full-blooded American in the house. The Roman army. Oh, hello. We got an American here. How you doing?
Solid.
We solid. Actually, yeah. I mean, uh, I don't know. What would you like? What would you like to say?
No, we were talking before about. I guess we left off with the bowling. Yeah, you know what? Don't be discouraged in regards to like you're not bowling a 300 game.
Yeah.
You know what? Set your priority at 100, which is still good, and yeah, just try to get better just a little bit at a time.
We got Sheng Lung, who comes from China. I know in China they censor the internet pretty significantly. So, are you using a VPN to watch the live stream, or are you currently in the United States of America or elsewhere? That's a pretty legitimate question because I know China is a communist country and they heavily censor the internet. And I don't think you can get on YouTube in China, can you?
Yeah, and if you're in China, I guess my question is, what does the Chinese government think about Papi and the Wildman?
What is it? I used to post. I used to post on TikTok. I think they liked Papi and the Wildman.
Hey,
I think it's communist propaganda. I think they probably that they support. I think we'd go over well in China. They like Papi, or at least the Wildman.
Yeah, we're neutral. I mean, we love everybody.
Yeah. I mean, we're like. Yeah, I think the Chinese government and TikTok they like Papi and the Wildman, so that's a good thing. We're liked by the Chinese and the Chinese government.
I'm wearing my USA hat today.
You're wearing your USA hat, yeah.
USA. No. If we go to China, call it USA.
Call it USA, yeah. Salung says, "Welcome to China. Welcome to China. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are you currently in China or are you in the United States of America? Because I know the internet. It could be a troll too, but I'm assuming these people are unusual today. Yeah.
And my favorite food or my favorite cuisine is Chinese/Japanese. I like the Asian food.
Yeah, Japanese cuisine is good too. Yeah, Japan is a relatively safe country to go to. I mean, not to say China's unsafe. I like, let's say hypothetically speak. I mean, I wouldn't want to get arrested in China. I mean, I wouldn't want to get arrested in Japan either. They have pretty strict laws. Didn't Paul McCartney get arrested for possession of marijuana in Japan?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they have pretty strict laws too. But you think of Japan as more of a what is their government? It's more democratic or republic or what's the Japanese government? I would feel safe wandering the streets of Japan, or I'd be a little bit more scared to go to China. I don't know. Maybe it's the American upbringing, and maybe communist countries are safe, but I'd be a little frightened to go to China, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, I don't think I wouldn't be frightened.
You wouldn't
China.
be?
No. I mean, don't consider China to be like North Korea. I mean,
right.
It's totally different.
So China's a lot safer.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, I don't know if I'll ever step foot in China. Maybe someday, but probably not. I don't see the reason for it at the moment, at least.
Just don't go by factories that manufacture little like diseases and stuff,
like Wuhan, the COVID-19. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
But every nation, even I'm sure people look at the United States and they say, hey, it's not safe to come to the United States. It's all depends on where you go and what you're seeing.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I would go to Japan, maybe China. Give the tour of the world. I do a lot of the pop musicians, that are well known throughout the world. Do they go to China when they tour, or is that
Yeah, I'm going to say no.
probably not?
If they do go on a world tour, it's usually United States and Europe,
Yeah,
North America, and they do reach out to Japan and also, let's say, Australia.
yeah.
But I don't know if China or if the Chinese government is too friendly toward rock and roll music.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong, but I get that impression.
yeah. I mean, you're more of an expert on the Chinese government and communism than I am. Frankly, I don't know much about communism and China, so I look to you for my wisdom, and
Namaste.
I look to the impatience for the wisdom as well. Um,
Yeah, and that's how you learn things.
speaking of, I mean, when I was in the hospital recently, there was a woman who came from China, and she had a language barrier. So she was obviously not only was she in the hospital, but she also had a language barrier, so she couldn't speak English.
Hmm.
So I remember I was trying to, you know, like be by her and like give her like the little snap and point and try to comfort her because I knew, I knew it was really hard for her to be in there, and obviously having the language barrier makes it even harder. You know
Oh,
what I mean? Because you
sure.
can't
Yep.
communicate with anybody. So I was kind of like lost in there too. So I was trying to be friendly with her, like sit by her and like snap and point at her and give her like warm, affectionate kind of, um, kind of
Yeah, good feeling.
good feeling because I knew it was probably tough, and she had some interpreter or translator who would come when she would have to talk to the psychiatrist and stuff. But I felt bad because it's got to be hard to be in a hospital.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, and
I would
she
imagine.
she was she was always trying to call like her friends. So I don't know if she was from Chinatown or like a Chinese area, but yeah, she was always trying to call her friends and to talk to somebody.
Hmm.
And I would try to like convey what I was like thinking with like I'm like, oh, pointing at a telephone and kind of, but yeah, it was, I don't know, that's just an interesting story. I don't know if I've ever shared that. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't.
No, first time I heard that. That's excellent.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know. I actually got her number. I don't know if I ever texted her or called her. Um, and I think I lost the number for it because like when I got home from the hospital, I just threw everything out. You know what I mean? There were a number of people I wanted to stay in contact with. But I'm like, but I also wanted to throw everything out because I wanted to just kind of like burn everything that I was in there with. But unfortunately, I had a list of numbers of some cool people that I met. I mean, not to say you want to keep in contact with the people you were in the hospital with, but there were some cool people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I lost the numbers. So, if anybody is out there, I'm not just talking about this particular woman because she might not even be able to understand what I'm saying, but if there's anybody out there who watches me, feel free to contact me. I probably lost your number. You know what I mean? So that's something to.
Yeah, you want to make a new start sometimes, and
Yeah, you want to make a new start sometimes too. But yeah, if people reach out, I'm pretty lonely, so I'd probably say, hey, what's going on? What's going on? Long time no chat, and I'd probably start a conversation, especially if it was a woman.
I know when I moved from company to company,
Yeah,
when I worked, I know sometimes I threw out like the Rolodexes and stuff, or I didn't take, and I was like, okay, I don't need this,
yeah,
and then you find out later on, like, oh, there were some numbers in there that I really wanted to reach out to people. Like I had friends who moved to in particular Florida, and yeah, I totally. I mean, I haven't. The numbers were all lost.
thanks to social media, it's kind of easier if you know their name at least
That's true.
to re-engage with them. But some people you don't even know their names really, and in which case you just kind of like, oh, I remember that person, and like 10 years go by. If you ran into the person again, you wouldn't even realize it's the same person, really.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I remember years ago, I was in Chicago,
Hmm.
and I was at a Yankee game playing the White Sox. And while I was walking around the inner circle of the ballpark, I saw somebody I actually went to high school with,
Yeah.
and it was like, I know this person, and the person was wearing an Islander hat,
Hmm.
and I went to quite a quite many Islander games with this person too. So the person kind of walked right past me because I saw the person coming, and when the person came by, I screamed out, or I yelled, well, loud enough for him to hear it. Islanders suck, and there was no reaction. So I was like, oh, maybe he didn't hear me.
Hmm.
So I said it again. Islanders suck, because he was wearing an Islander hat.
Yeah.
No reaction. I was like, all right. So I called out the guy's name. I'll say his name was Joe. Joe, such and such, you suck. And the person just stopped, turned around, and he was like, hey. And,
Yeah.
I guess he didn't want to respond to somebody saying the Islanders sucked. But when I called his name out, he stopped and turned around, and it was a good meeting. I mean, it was somebody who I hadn't seen in years,
Hmm.
and yeah, we got caught up a little bit.
Yeah, that's good, especially if I mean, it's good to see old people from many years ago. Um, Sometimes if you're on good terms with them, at least, and it sounds like you were on good terms with this particular person, and it's good to catch up and say, hey. And sometimes you pick up right where you left off. You like you got along well with the person, and you start talking to them again, and you're like, oh wow, it's almost like no time has passed at all, even though like 4, 5, 6, 7 years have passed. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Yep.
some people you pick up right where you just left off. Other people it takes a while to get reacquainted with. If you do get reacquainted with them at all, and they enter your life again,
Yeah. I mean, and to just expand on what you said, um, I think in my life I only have less than a handful of people who I really have no desire to meet or to get involved with or even see ever again.
Hmm.
And um, I mean, everybody else, hey, sometimes things happen and you drift apart or things don't work out, but it doesn't make the person or even a relationship a bad one. It puts you in a different position in life. And
Yeah, I mean that's very much true. Sometimes people drift apart and go their separate ways, and sometimes you reestablish contact. I mean, some people you keep close to, some people you branch apart, but that's just life.
correct.
That's just life. All right, so interestingly enough, we're not really getting a lot of people joining today for whatever reason. I'm kind of disappointed. I mean, we went up to 10 people initially. We got somebody from China. Obviously, we got somebody from China who joined. Well, why did you look at the camera?
I don't know, just being sophomoric.
Sophomoric. So we got somebody from China who joined, or at least appears to know the Chinese language. We got marijuana therapy. Okay, how are you doing, marijuana therapy?
I don't know if you remember, or maybe you forgot when we used to end our Papi and the Wildman
Yeah,
segments.
you look at the camera.
I
Yeah.
always used to get to the camera, and that's kind of what I was doing. So I don't know if you ever remember, if you remember that. I used to do that.
I do remember you used to do that. Yeah. Marijuana therapy says, "How are you? How are you doing? I'm doing all right.
Mighty fine.
I guess Poppy, all things considered, is doing all right as well. I mean, how about you? How are you doing? I don't think I've seen you around these parts before, but good to see you. Do you want to start this off, because we're not really. I mean, we're not really generating too many people.
Yeah. How long have we been on?
We've been on for 20 minutes.
Hey, that's good. Good 20 minutes.
That was a good 20 minutes, I guess. This guy says he's a lurker forever. Do you have any questions that you would like to ask Papi or the Wildman? I guess marijuana therapy. I don't know what to refer to him as. Do you have any questions, or should we shut this down?
The kind bud.
The kind bud. When is the next Poppy and the Wildman video? I guess this is kind of technically a Poppy and the Wildman video, though it's kind of Poppy's place. It's more of a long form live stream.
Oh, Casa de Papi.
Casa de Poppy. Poppy said, as long as I was posting the spicy content, he wouldn't make a Poppy and the Wildman video anymore, and I've taken that all down since then.
So maybe in the spring we can start
we can
slowly making
making some more Poppy and the Wildmans, because to be perfectly honest with you, you said the reason you wouldn't make Poppy and the Wildmans was because of the spicy content.
And because that's not cool.
And I've since taken it all down, so I guess we can resume with the Poppy and the Wildmans, right? I guess we can, since it's all down. I don't know. I mean. So he says, yeah, it's probably for the best. The reason I took that down was because I had a friend, and I had actually a few friends, and they were coming over my apartment, and I'm like, I didn't want any problems. You know what I mean? And that was personally the reason I took all the spicy content down. Because I value friendship more than I value my artwork, my performance art. And so, I would much rather have these friends than have the social media content public. So that's the reason I took it down, to be perfectly honest.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And it can only get you into trouble.
It can only get you into trouble. And
there's no upside to it.
There's no upside to it, yeah. And I don't want to ruin these friendships. I don't want to ruin these relationships. I don't want to, I want to keep these friends in my life, and I want no problems. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
So I'm like, all right, that's the reason I did it. All right. Okay. Somebody says smart decision. Somebody says it's like tattooing your face. It's like, why would you do it? I mean, I look pretty handsome. All kidding aside, and I look pretty good, but it's like there's really no benefit to it.
No. Oh well, you know what? Who am I to judge what somebody wants to do? But I mean, I think Mike Tyson had a tattoo, and
yeah, it doesn't look good.
There's a rock singer out there, or not a rock singer, but a country singer now, who I guess was in jail, and he tattooed his face. He's a good singer. I mean, his voice is great, but
yeah,
I don't remember what his name was.
Yeah.
It's slipping me. If somebody knows who I'm talking about, just post it and
yeah. So it's an easy way to get attention, but I know, like somebody once said, it's like, do you want to attract interest with sensational nudity, or do you want to attract interest because of who you are as a person, because of what you can offer in relationships? I mean, it's a cheap way to get attention. Obviously you take your clothes off. It's like, oh, look, everybody pays attention. Everybody likes and comments, but realistically, it also, if I want to work for, in an art job someday, or a movie career, or a performance art career, or get into the show business, they're going to say, oh, why were you creating all this spicy content? And they'll be reluctant to hire me, because of it, probably.
And I think you made a valid point. You made a valid point by saying, who are you drawing to that video? I mean, are you drawing the people who you want to have a relationship with, want to have as a friend, or are you people who?
I mean, as we saw that iBoss guy, remember that guy who led the Secret Service coming to the house? I think he found me through the spicy content, and he was probably a sexual predator who was preying on my vulnerability and naivety.
Case in point.
So yeah, obviously it's attracted, I guess you describe them as cyberbullies at the very least, and it's not good. It's not good. You don't want you don't want homosexual cyberbullies harassing you. You want to form real relationships with a cute woman in real life who's like your best friend, basically. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's what you want. Not like terrorist cyberbullies that are homosexuals.
And not just, and it drives good people away too. If somebody is interested in what you're doing, what you're posting, and want to be your friend, and they see something like that, it's going to turn them off. It's going to say like, hey, I don't want any part of that, because it's pornographic. I mean, it's not. It could be not legal also. I mean, and people shun away from that type of stuff.
Right. So, yeah, of course, you want to foster real relationships with real people in real life, not internet fantasy land relationships with homosexual cyberbullies.
Correct.
You want to, find a cute girlfriend who's like your best friend, and you become happily married someday. And I mean, obviously, that at least that's the goal for me. You know what I mean? So
good goal. It's a very excellent goal.
Yeah.
But
you don't want to be solitary, getting harassed by,
cyberbullies.
Cyberbullies.
And as you put it, if you want somebody who's nice and want to be your friend for life, you may drive them away by some things that you post.
Yeah, no, it's a fair point. It's a fair point. I do think, obviously some of what I post is like a therapy session where it's kind of like cathartic in a way to get out a lot of these traumas and feelings. And I know some of it they say is delusions and psychosis. But obviously I protest constantly for a confession to the nefarious hidden realities. And I'm told there are none. I'm told there are no hidden realities, and everything is as it appears to be on the surface, face value. And that's what I have to come to an acceptance of. And I need to accept, when I do start to you get these thoughts, I stop it, end it, catch it, check it, change it, and realize everybody is being honest, transparent. Everything is as it appears to be.
And that's why proper medication is helpful too. It'll quell all the, what you do with the thoughts and such.
Yeah. All right. On that note, it was kind of a slow live stream, but I noticed the number is picking up here. Somebody asks, "Hi from New Zealand." Hi from New Zealand. I guess that's it. You want to wrap this up?
Okay.
All right. And anybody have any last questions here, or should we peace out? Peace out, my amigos and amigas.
Thanks, everyone. We'll be back.
Yeah.
Soon.
Okay, we're done.